On this edition of the Newsfeed, a partnership program between Virginia Tech Library and the Drone Park has made drone accessible for students and faculty.
Plus, how Virginia Tech police and campus officials are tackling sexual assault through education.
And unexpected expenses from emergency services can leave students with a financial hole in their pockets. Those stories and more are just ahead.
Roll A, take A.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Eric Liu.
And I'm Avery Lane.
Raising animals for food production can be harmful to the environment when done on a large scale. However, large farmers have found ways to not only reduce harm, but improve the land while raising animals. This technique can bring improvements to a place like Blacksburg, with many farms in the surrounding areas. Some farmers are using rotational grazing. Animals like cattle, sheep, and goats graze on smaller plots of land, then farmers rotate plots and allow the grazed grass to regrow. This layer of growth on the topsoil has a number of environmental benefits. It reduces soil erosion to keep the water supply cleaner, reduce water runoff, and maintain the natural structure of the earth additionally. Grass digestion through animals like cows speed up the nutrient cycle and improve land fertility faster.
Because that's how the Midwest got its initial fertility, is that these huge herds of bison would roam across the land, and they wouldn't return back to where they initially grazed until it was fully recovered.
Some Southwest Virginia farmers are mimicking this natural cycle on a small scale. Though relatively simple to implement with the use of fences and electric wires, it has long-term benefits for the environment and community resources.
The Women's Center celebrates 25 years at Virginia Tech this month. It has been a continuing resource every member of the Virginia Tech community can go to for questions, guidance, and support. Newsfeed reporter Elena Jones joined us in the newsroom for more. Elena?
Thanks, Avery. 2019 marks 25 years the Women's Center has been at Virginia Tech. They've made headways in policy changes and programs throughout the years. In 1999, the center had a new policy written into campus code stating new buildings must have a lactation space for women. They respond and recreate new programs based on what people currently need. Some come and go, but ones like the SAVES program, a peer education group for sexual violence, will always be available for students. Looking back at previous programs when the center first opened, some of the problems women had are not as big of issues anymore.
Get a lot of women students coming in and saying, I'm the only female student in my engineering class, and my teacher is putting me down.
As long as there is gender disparities in the world and on campus, the Women's Center will always be there. If you have any ideas for the center or need help, head to their website, womencenter.vt.edu, for more information. The Women's Center hopes for another 25 successful years for people of all genders at Virginia Tech. I'm Elena Jones reporting. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Elena. In other news, the International Student Exchange and Generation Study Abroad programs at Virginia Tech have increased their participation numbers in recent years. The rise in participation is bringing in more student interest in the programs. There are a few different reasons as to why students have recently wanted to do study abroad. Newsfeed reporter Taylor Brooks has more on this story.
Choosing to study abroad is a huge decision to make for both personal and academic reasons. Recently, there has been an increase in participation in the International Student Exchange Program and the Generation Study Abroad program. There are various reasons as to why this increase occurred.
I think more faculty leaders are having programs abroad, and so students are much more aware of those. Again, because you're taking Virginia Tech credit, there isn't an issue about transferring and whether you're going to get credit for that. That's just Virginia Tech credit, and you're just going to be abroad. So students I think those are appealing to students.
Word of mouth has also been a leading factor for the increase in participation. The Global Education Office is putting out more flyers, holding more information sessions, and faculty members are heavily reminding students of the opportunities they have. Students are taking advantage of those reminders and are seeking out faculty for more information.
For my program in particular, when you join the Honors College, they really advertise it. The person in charge, Paul Heilker, literally just does not stop talking about it to try to get you to go. And it's actually gotten so popular that there's a waiting list, I think, for next year's program.
Virginia Tech hopes to increase their study abroad participation rate from 17% to 23% by 2020. Reporting for the newsfeed, this is Taylor Brooks.
Drone usage has become quite a phenomenon in a lot of different ways in recent years. But for some college campuses like Virginia Tech, drone accessibility had been an issue. There was no easy way for colleges to get access to drones for education and research purposes. That has changed. A new partnership program between Virginia Tech libraries and a drone park has opened up a new opportunity for drone accessibility for both students and faculty. The new partnership program has been running for several weeks now.
Here at the library, we have the Studios Network, right? So we have Media Design Studio A, which I run, and Studio B, and then there's the Virtual Environment Studio, there's the 3D Design Studio, and the whole point of the studios is to lower barriers to entry for new technologies. We're trying to train students for the future and for jobs that might not even exist yet. And the way you do that is you get the newest technology and you let people play with it and you let people experiment with it. And so drones is part of that.
The program was initiated from ground zero just over a year ago. Currently, the program provides up to 14 drones of different kinds for lending. Students can sign up to fly drones at any time at the park. Just ahead on the newsfeed, how Virginia Tech police and campus officials are working together to educate students on sexual assault prevention.
And unexpected expenses from emergency services can leave students with a financial hole in their pockets. That story and more after this break. Welcome back to the newsfeed. I'm Avery Lane.
And I'm Eric Liu. Sexual assault is a persistent issue across many college campuses. The Virginia Tech police, as well as other campus officials, work to make a safer environment through educating students on the realities of such assault. Newsfeed reporter Charlotte Kuhn tells us more in the next story.
Sexual assault is something that plagues every campus across America. The role of the university is to do its best to foster an environment where problems like this do not occur. However, this is easier said than done. At Virginia Tech, sexual assault prevention efforts begin as soon as the student is enrolled in the university. Students, both incoming freshmen and transfer students, must take a mandatory course on sexual assault and gender-based violence.
And that reaches all of our students. This is now the 4th year that that's been a mandatory course. So I think we still have some folks here who've been here for longer who didn't have to take it, but hopefully most everybody has taken it at this point.
This mandatory course is not the extent of efforts here at Virginia Tech. Programs through the Women's Center and other campus organizations are available to educate individuals on recognizing and advocating for students dealing with these issues. The Virginia Tech Police also has programs in place.
Our program that we offer straight out of the police department is the Rape Aggression Defense Program, or RAD program, which is a very basic self-defense type program, provides some confidence and basic skills that someone can use to actually defend themselves.
However, if sexual assault does occur, survivors can file a report under Title IX, a law that states that an individual cannot be discriminated against on the basis of sex. Filing a Title IX report can lead to consequences for an attacker and help the survivor gain closure. Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Charlotte Kuhn.
In other news, while the price of college itself is well documented, students must oftentimes deal with unexpected expenses. When tragedy strikes, those affected by health-related emergencies can be left dealing with the financial fallout. A demographic that historically has always had a low had low levels of disposable income, emergency transport to the hospital can often be the straw that breaks the camel's back for college students. A single ambulance ride can cost in excess of $600 and is not always covered by insurance, leading some individuals to use services like Uber to get to the hospital. Christiansburg Rescue Squad leader Don Baya warns against such behavior.
If someone is unable to pay, we are never going to deny someone, we're never going to deny someone transport to the hospital because they can't pay. If we do transport someone that can't pay, we do offer what's called compassionate soft billing.
In addition to providing payment plans, emergency transport services also offer the life-saving capabilities that Uber cannot provide. Furthermore, the use of Uber in a crisis can open both you and the company up to certain liabilities.
Millions of people are affected by brain injuries every year. Synapse, a student organization at Virginia Tech, is working to bring awareness to these brain injuries and create a community for those affected. Newsfeed reporter Jessica Spears has more in this report.
Synapse is a student-run organization that brings awareness to brain injuries. Most of the executive team of the organization has had a brain injury themselves, or their close family and friends have had these injuries. Synapse hosts a support group every week for those in the New River Valley that are affected by brain injury.
We're just trying to educate people about what brain injury is, let them know that this is a real thing and that sometimes it can be really hard, and there's a wide range that it could go from. I mean, even a mild concussion is not something to just ignore, you know, even if you've had multiple, like each one that you have makes it worse. And so just letting people know that we're here for them if they've experienced something like that. And
Synapse recently held a Brain Injury Awareness Week, the first one in Virginia Tech's history. They partnered with other organizations in the community and on campus, like the Virginia Tech Biomechanics Helmet Lab, to hold an information fair to teach students and faculty about these injuries.
Well, I think there's a lot of people unaware of everything that, how often concussions can occur, long-term damage from a concussion. So I think it's great that we're actually, I think it'll help immensely that make people aware that, hey, you know, if you don't wear a helmet, chance of concussion is pretty severe.
Synapse invites students of all majors to join and hopes to create a community that is more aware of brain injuries and their effects. This is Jessica Spires reporting for the Newsfeed.
That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrb@gmail.com. And as always, you can also connect with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Eric Liu.
And I'm Avery Lane.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Roll A, take A.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Ella Teston.
And I'm Justice Smith.
Virginia Tech students were shocked after recently receiving an email from the Virginia Tech Police Department that hidden cameras were found in campus bathrooms. Now, the culprit has been arrested and is facing the consequences. Freshman engineering student Andrew Wildman has been arrested for the crimes and has been charged with one count of unlawful image creation of another. The charge is a Class 1 misdemeanor. 2 hidden cameras were found in campus bathrooms. However, they were disguised as everyday devices, leaving students unsuspecting. One was disguised as a USB charger, while the other was disguised as a clothing hook, which was mounted on the wall with Velcro.
I would guess that anybody with reasonable, dedication to it, probably sophomore level background, could do something like this. And if you're photography, you learn this in high school.
Virginia Tech police are asking that people do not remove any suspicious items. If you find them, and call the non-emergency number immediately at 540-382-4343. With the rise of social media, marketers and students have found innovative ways to utilize this technology. Social media influencers are the latest online trend, and many businesses and students are joining in. Some Virginia Tech students have become social media influencers for local businesses as their online side hustle. Newsfeed reporter Maddie Ide has more on this story.
Companies including Belk, Amazon Prime Student, and Tinder have taken on Virginia Tech students as micro-influencers to promote their brands.
I really like how it's very open, and I think it is working in that sense because it's authentic me, but still having this brand aspect, which I think is kind of going back to the social media influencer. You can really see a post and be okay, this person literally they're just getting money to get paid to post this exact caption with this exact phrase and their special coupon code, which that works in some senses, but for my position, I really liked the fact that I get to make my own content.
According to a New York Times article, it is estimated that as many as 1,000 undergraduate students at Virginia Tech are being paid to promote products through their social media accounts.
Our average age of shopper is probably around 45, so it gets us into the community of the future, the 25 or 21 to 25-year-old that doesn't really know a lot about Belk.
Laszlo says with the rise in online shopping, social media users can expect to see more influencers popping up on their timelines. Reporting from Blacksburg, this is Maddie Ide.
Anaphylactic shock, a severe food allergy reaction, takes the lives of many every year. Food allergies should not be overlooked. Several precautions must be taken on a daily basis. If you're newly diagnosed with food allergies, check your current food supply, examining ingredients closely. When shopping for groceries, check nutrition labels. Below the ingredients, you will see an additional line listing what food was also processed in the same plant. Cross-contamination may not be likely, but it's important to know what to do in the case of a reaction.
When it gets to the point where they're really having significant trouble, a lot of people would be prescribed and actually carry an EpiPen with them. If you notice that someone's having a severe allergic reaction or anaphylactic reaction, as quick as possible, try and communicate with them and figure out if they have an EpiPen.
EpiPens can be obtained through doctor prescription. In the case one needs to be used, also call 911. For nearly 5 years, American Campus Communities has been fighting to put up new apartments in Blacksburg's Houston Herald neighborhood. The project has been delayed multiple times due to pushback from the local community. After recent disapproval from local residents, the developer has withdrawn the request to build and plans to revise it. Community members argue that these new apartments will add too much traffic in the areas and harm the environment as this lot borders the historic stadium woods.
The location there is at the very lowest point, and there's already a flooding problem there, and we think it would just be exacerbated by paving over basically 4 acres.
The revised plans are scheduled to be proposed at a city council meeting on April 9th. If approved, construction would start soon after.
It's a very exciting time for many high school seniors. Their next step into the real world are coming, and most of those start with picking a college. Virginia Tech has released all of their acceptances. Newsfeed reporter Logan Ross has the story and what really are the next steps for the future Hokie students.
This time of year can be very exciting and rather stressful for many high school seniors. The big question is, where will I go to college? For many Virginia Tech hopefuls, this question has already been answered. Future Hokies have received their acceptances and just have to commit to being Hokies. But what comes after that? Future Hokies are encouraged to come on campus, where admissions offers special sessions just for accepted students. Tracy McCoy, the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admissions, said this day is very beneficial for these students and their families.
Special sessions just for offered students, and they're sent a link in their email to register for those events. That's how we limit it to just offered students. And so those sessions will have student panels involved with them, so we'll have current students who will be answering questions for the families and that sort of thing, as well as to walking tours, and then academic sessions.
Virginia Tech does a great job in getting these seniors ready for the big change and the adjustment to come in the fall. Blacksburg senior Katie Adams will be attending Virginia Tech and says they have given her a lot to look forward to.
Virginia Tech has given me a preview of what's to come, for example, orientation, housing, and then also just given options for things like Hokie Camp and Summer Academy.
Seniors are encouraged to reach out and ask questions for any clarification they may need throughout this process. Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Logan Ross.
Just ahead on the newsfeed, holidays are coming to Blacksburg and local businesses are preparing.
And Blacksburg Transit continues their active search for more bus drivers. That story and more after this break.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
Welcome back to the newsfeed. I'm Ella Teston.
And I'm Justice Smith.
The holiday buzz is not solely seen during the months of December and November. March can tend to get a little bit crazy as well. Newsfeed reporter Kelsey O'Donnell joins us in the studio with our next story. Kelsey?
Thanks, Ella. The month of March is fully underway, and what better way to start than with a few holidays just around the corner. Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, and St. Patrick's Day are among a few of the popular eating, drinking, and partying days. I took to the streets to find out just how Blacksburg's restaurants are preparing.
Blacksburg, Virginia, home to a plethora of restaurants downtown that are preparing for the March holiday rush. I decided to take a deeper look across town inside McAdoo's restaurant, where decorations welcome you from the moment you step inside. McAdoo's prides themselves in some of their St. Patrick's Day menu specialties, including O'Reilly's Reuben sandwich, shepherd's pie, even a beer cheese steak special. I spoke with restaurant manager Dave Everett about the increase in foot traffic they will see and how he and his staff are preparing.
During spring break, we'll be probably completely dead, and then you'll get the students coming back, like coinciding with St. Patrick's Day. So it'll go from, hey, nothing's going on, to line out the door for 6-7 hours. As far as prep, for our seasonal items, we are spending extra time prepping for different things like that.
Additionally, extra staff will be on hand when the day comes.
Places like Carol Lee Donuts in Blacksburg, Virginia are making preparations for the month of March. I took a look inside to see just exactly what they were doing for the holidays that are just around the corner.
With Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras at our doorstep, donuts are quite the hot commodity. Assistant Manager Grant Munch filled me in on the process.
Any big event at Tech usually kind of correlates with a big business day for us, so we'll come in about 12 midnight, that is, to like 2 a.m. maybe. So and that'll be a busy day. We'll make until about noon.
On average, 180 dozen donuts are made each day. However, with the holidays, that number is expected to increase. Some fun things in store include festive sprinkles and fillings for the donuts. Overall, more customers visit restaurants and shops during these days in March. And as for the store owners and workers, looks like most will be putting in some overtime. Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Kelsey O'Donnell. Back to you at the news desk.
Thanks, Kelsey.
VT Engage, a community service platform, helps students find opportunities to serve the community on a day-to-day basis. Founded in 2007, this program was created to honor the April 16th victims. Partnering with nonprofit organizations around the area, VT Engage's long-term goal is for their volunteers to build a life that revolves around serving others in need. Students are challenged to make Ut Prosum not just a phrase, but a lifestyle. VT Engage Communications Coordinator Lindsay Gleason says there are many opportunities the program offers.
So we have a variety of ways for people to get involved. So you could spend 2 hours with us on a campus kitchen shift, or you could go to Peru for 3 weeks. Anyone of any year or any major can come on our trips, whether you're undergraduate or graduate student.
Campus Kitchen works with VT Dining Services to package unserved, untouched food from dining halls to deliver to food pantries in the area. With volunteers filling up service spots every day of the week, there is no shortage of service for the VT Engage program. Blacksburg Transit has been helping students get from place to place for over 30 years. However, with more students flooding the university every year, Blacksburg Transit is in need of more drivers to keep pace with the rising student population. Starting with only 6 buses in 1983, Blacksburg Transit has come a long way. It now boasts a fleet of over 48 buses and 11 vans. But the university is expanding as well, and Blacksburg Transit has the tall task of providing transportation to thousands of students every day. To do this, the shuttle service has created more routes and acquired more buses, but it is still seeking additional drivers. According to Blacksburg Transit's communication assistant Lincoln Schuyler, the driver qualifications are less technical than one might initially think.
You don't have to know how to drive a bus when you get here. You don't have to have a CDL to come and work for us. We do all our training in-house. You just have to have the desire to learn and the ability to do it.
Currently, Blacksburg Transportation's quota has fallen underneath its 130 driver mark. To alleviate this issue, it has increased its hourly wage to $13.22, a pay that is higher than most part-time positions in the Blacksburg area. Blacksburg Transportation also advertises its flexible hours as to attract college students, who make up the majority of the current bus drivers. And that will wrap up this edition of the News Feed. If you have story ideas for the News Feed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can connect with the News Feed on Facebook and Twitter.
Thanks for watching. I'm Ella Teston.
And I'm Justice Smith.